Welcome to our Brothers in Conversation podcast powered by Jesse and Shaundell. Shaundell, you are from?
Bed-Stuy, do-or-die, Brooklyn. That little town.
That's a little town. That's nothing like Hawthorne, Nevada. Population 5,000 cats and dogs. Okay, it looks like we are live here on Facebook. This is Brothers in Conversations, episode number 36. This is going to be a powerful program. I am looking forward to putting my very best into it. The topic is something that Lisa actually was brilliantly cool with coming up with. And our topic would be holidays, family, depression, and desire. I should say holidays, family, depression, or desire. Holidays, family, depression, or desire. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And what I want to bring to your attention is something that you already know. We are in the middle of the holiday season. And what does that actually mean for you? When you're in the middle of the holiday season, there's so many things that we've got going on in our world, whether it's holiday season or not, that can actually be very, very challenging to keep up with our whole life and feel like we're doing our very best and bringing our very best to the game. This is actually going to be a shorter podcast because I may not have the opportunity to connect with Shaundell Newsom. If he does pop in, we will certainly welcome him. If not, we're going to keep the show going. And what I want to say to you is that the holiday period can be really challenging for a lot of people and for a lot of reasons. Number one, the tradition. Sometimes we have traditions that we once loved that have become nothing more than old habits, a routine. You go through the routine and you're connecting with people, but you're not really connecting with people. You're playing the game as though you're connecting with people.
Hey, Mr. Jesse.
Oh, let me just finish that thought, and I'm going to bring Shaundell in. I was just going to say that you're playing the game like you're connecting with people, but you're really, really not. So let me stop that thought and bring Shaun.
Yeah, that was crazy. Well, technology, man. Well, I was sitting in the whatever. It said you had another meeting, so
really,
it's all good. Yeah, it said you had another meeting in progress. So I figured you were finishing up a meeting.
No, that other meeting I had in progress was with my co-host.
Oh, well, it was kind of weird, but that's okay. We're here now.
Listen, glitchy things happen all the time, and quite frankly, let's just use that as to play right into our topic. We talked about as I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, so I did announce that we were in episode 36. I also announced that it's Brothers in Conversations, and I also announced the topic: holidays, family, depression, or desire. Yeah. So before we get into that, let's talk about glitches. Shaundell, there are glitches all the time. And when you get to know somebody, you get a sense that there may be something going on outside of their control.
Yes.
And if there's a rigid time to start and stop or whatever, start it. Go ahead, get into it.
Good job.
Yeah, because the other person, no matter who it is, if they have the opportunity, they're going to do their best to connect and, team up as you've prescribed, right?
Yeah, because I was sitting over there singing, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got time to sing.
But that's happened. And see, and really, don't you believe too, Shaundell, that many of us get stuck in the portions of our life about what's either going on or what has gone on, what's happening or what has happened. Rather than, it's not happening the way we designed it, so can I still roll it out? Just roll with it.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you know what? That's what we do, though.
All the time.
You and I are great crisis managers.
You know what? Because it's a part of our life, and it's not going away anytime soon. So let's talk about the holidays. What does it now? You're such a sentimental guy and very dedicated to family. What does it mean for you when you hear holidays and family? What does that mean to you? What comes up for you?
Wow, what comes up for me is a lot. It's like I think of my dad and I trudging through the snow, and we're looking at all the decorations in New York City, and in Brooklyn, people are decorating their stoops and decorating their houses, and you hear all the music change. I mean, it's just a whole different vibe. It's indescribable. It's almost like a movie.
It's like a
like a
movie.
movie. Yeah.
Is it like a throwback, a blast from the past for you? Is that what you're
It
saying
is. It
too?
really is. It's man. It takes you back to being a child again. It takes you back to appreciation. Like I tease my youngest sister, and if she's watching this on Facebook, she'll crack up because I tease her all the time. Jess, I said, one year my mother said, "I'm going to bring you guys the best gift ever." For Christmas, and this was the 1970s. I'm like, oh wow, am I gonna get that Muhammad Ali
Right,
action doll? Am I
right.
what's the best gift ever? She's like, you're gonna have a little sister. I'm like, hmm? Right,
Who's that? Is that a gift for you or me or
right.
what? Right.
Yeah, I'm a kid. I want toys and stuff. But seriously, it's things like that that brings a smile to your face that you can always laugh about. My father playing, and I told my wife, my father would play every R&B version of Christmas songs. It would be James Brown. It would be the Supremes. It would be Michael Jackson. It was it like when you went in other homes, you heard Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra, and you heard those type of crooners and stuff like that. And guess what? I love them all.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
So,
I totally agree.
so you
And
can imagine my house, man. When I'm my wife's like, "Why are you so loud with that music?" I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta feel it. Like it just makes me. And oh man, it's just it brings back so many great memories."
well, and I'm not surprised to hear you answer that way. Not 1 ounce of that answer surprises me with you. That really is a typical, and it's really actually on automatic with you. I don't even think it's something that you switch to. I think it's something that's like a backfill pattern recognition thing going on. Like your brain, when it comes to matters like that, it's almost like you have a Windows program running in the backdrop, and so when someone asks you something, you access it. You access it, but you don't actually have to bring it up. It's there. You put life in
Yeah,
front of it, like matters with the
yeah.
kids or the wife or the business or clients or whatever. You put that in front, but in the backdrop, that the scene that you just painted, it doesn't have to be the holidays for you to go to that scene. You don't turn it on or off. You just either access it or place what you need to put in front of it so that you can get matters done.
And I have to acknowledge this real quick, Jess. This is the day a week before Christmas that Arlene and I met 26 years ago.
Well, see, there you go. There's just and I'll bet you don't even have to think about that. I'll bet you that's again like a backfill pattern recognition happening for you. And let me explain
Yes.
that backfill pattern recognition really quickly. We're going a little bit off topic here, but
Oh no, I love it.
when you go into the movie, check this out. Follow me, walk with me on this one. When you go to see the movie at the movie house, when things are up and running and you go in and out of the movies, and you walk and you pay for the ticket,
Yeah.
a smell starts to come over you, and then when you walk around the foyer to get to the smell gets deeper. What is that
Yeah.
smell that you're smelling?
Oh man, popcorn.
Yes. Now,
Oh
even
wow.
if you're not hungry, you
Yeah.
want some of that popcorn.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that's backfill pattern recognition, where
Wow.
it has an effect on you, where you're not conscious of it,
Yeah.
but you will be moved more times than not to go get that popcorn, even when you're not hungry.
Oh wow. Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
That is so true because being a marketer, that's really a sense of what we do, right?
Yep.
Even like when you're sitting down at a slot machine these days, remember that there used to be the coins,
Yep.
right? But now there's a coin sound.
Right. Ding ding ding
When,
ding ding
when
ding ding ding
you hear
ding.
the ding 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 ding,
Yeah.
and so that was something that we talked about when we went to Ticket.
Right.
How do people get that sensation of winning
Correct.
in those coins, right? So
Correct.
that's the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is very much the same. So again, no surprise that you came with that. I could have literally predicted. I might not have gone word for word, but I could have predicted the nature and the energy that you would bring. But but
Yeah,
but but Shaundell, what about people that do not have the Shaundell Newsome backfill pattern recognition?
yeah.
That sense of glow and happiness. Even though, by the way, that doesn't mean everything in your life is perfect because you're doing that.
Right.
You might be dealing with problems and challenge and
Oh,
stress and
absolutely.
difficulty, but still, your immediate tap into is what you just said. What about the people that through the holidays they have the opposite feeling? What do you think's going on in those
You
worlds,
know,
those homes?
what happens, and it happens to me too. It's just that I have a quick switch. You guys did a great job of putting together my profile, and in my move, I got to find my book. But I want to give you guys some credit because the profile that you did on me is dead spot on. And you can explain that. I don't know the exact words, but you know what it is. Um, it was through the Breakthrough Success Program. But what happens to me is when I go in that situation, like I just talked about my father, I recognize that that can be a very sad time for me. My father,
Right.
my grandfather, my grandmother, some of my cousins who I remember during the holidays, and they're no longer here. Or my pastor
Right.
just passed away earlier this year. My auntie just passed away earlier this year. What I would do with those things is it would quickly trigger into humor. It will quickly trigger into remembering the great times that I had with them. So I'm not depressed. I had counseling when I was 22 years old about depression.
Sure.
Um, I was a single parent with 4 children, and it was a lot weighed down on me. So I learned coping mechanism, I guess what you would call it. And my natural coping mechanism is humor
Right.
and fun.
Right. And so that helped you get through that. When you talk about depression, because that's one of the items that a lot of people are battling before the holidays, and sometimes the
Yeah.
holidays exacerbate those levels or feelings of depression. Let me share
Yes.
something with you. I think I shared it with you on a recent podcast, but that's okay. This is worth a double back if I did share. I use certain dialogue and intel so much. Sometimes I can't remember which forum I used it in. But when you talk about depression, my something I read recently that was so powerful said that it came from most psychologists say that
Mhm.
depression is the inability to construct a future.
Wow. I gotta save that.
Depression
I
is
really gotta save that.
the inability to construct a future.
I
That's
really
what
gotta save that.
that's what I mean, because when you think of depression, a lot of people think of depression, oh, he's down, oh, he's dark, he's in a bad mood or in a bad place. No. I love that. When I read that definition, it just stuck with me. Psychologists say that typically when you want to define depression, it's the
Yep.
inability to define a future.
Yep.
That's
The
like a loss
inability
of
to.
hope.
Oh wow.
Loss. That's a loss of hope, a loss of
Yeah.
desire, a loss of
Yeah.
possibility, a loss of life maybe where you don't even want to live. And so sometimes the holidays bring out that backdrop for people because of whatever they are managing or have managed or not managing. Weigh in on that one. What are your
Yep.
thoughts when I
You
pop that
know,
one over to you?
I'm writing down what you're saying because I
Okay.
am going. I love that, man. I'm sitting here like, man, I got to get that down before I forget. But I'm gonna listen to the podcast again. And I mean, that was a great revelation for me. You know, and I guess that's what I'm saying, Jess, is that I go to the past to get perspective. I look in the future for opportunity and growth.
Past for perspective,
And
future for.
I always
Go ahead.
yes, history. I love history,
Okay.
but I look at history for perspective. I don't get stuck in history, like you said, and I look at the future for opportunity and growth, and that means personal growth, spiritual growth, financial growth. I look in the future, legacy growth, like what I'm doing with my daughter. Also, I'm doing it at the chamber. Um, and let me tell you how I always say this. I say I always look in the rearview mirror for perspective, which is very small, and I look in the windshield for opportunity and growth.
Okay, I like that. I
And
like that.
that's what keeps me out of a depressive state. Let me tell you why that's important. Because if I stayed in my situation, single father with 4 children,
Right.
and just stayed there and got stuck there, I would be very depressed.
Right.
I would be, only focused on all the stuff that's going on in that moment, right? The financial challenges, the time management challenges, I'm responsible for 4 lives, Jess.
Right.
I would be very, but what I looked at and what the counselors helped me look at, the psychologists and folks like that, is they allowed me to say what happens when
Yes,
you take
and
these
Shaundell,
kids.
that's huge what you just said. What you just practiced is, again, some of my recent reading have brought to me is what I've learned is counterfactual thinking.
Man,
Counterfactual thinking.
you're so smart, man. I'm like Lawrence Weekly, man. You always been this way, huh? 5 years old, I can
No,
see Jess
no.
walking. Let me tell you about contractual thinking.
No, I'm serious. Counterfactual thinking is what that says is what if questions based on the past.
Yeah,
You're going to your past to say, okay, let me do a quick review, not to be stuck and not to live in there, but what can I pull from the past to help me for the current and the future? So counterfactual thinking is what if questions based on the past. That's what you're doing.
yes.
So people listening, write this down. If you're listening, counterfactual thinking
I'm writing, shoot, counterfactual thinking.
is what if questions based on the past.
Counterfactual thinking.
Yes, what
I
if
got
questions based on the past. You ready for another one to tag onto that?
Yeah.
Here it comes. Stop expecting amazing results with minimal effort.
Woo-hoo! Fire.
Stop
Fire.
expecting amazing results with minimal effort.
And the Bible talks about that too. And I'm a Bible guy,
Yeah.
so the Bible talks about that when they say faith without works is dead. And basically, at the end of the day, you can have faith all day long. And I used to watch a lot of the old school Baptist or Christian people in my neighborhood, is they had a lot of faith, but it's almost like they felt like you could sit on the couch and God is going to bless you.
Right, right,
And
right.
yeah, I didn't believe in that.
No, listen. Okay, wait a minute. So since you did that, now don't disrespect me because I love my father like you love my father, but we love our fathers
Right.
differently. Let me tell you about my father because of what you said. Don't sit on the couch and just say it again. Don't sit on the couch and think you're going to be blessed. How'd you say that? Say that word.
Blessed. Right, right.
Okay, so
Yeah, and Robin Harris, you remember Robin Harris, the
I
famous
do.
comedian?
I do.
Robin Harris said, don't stand there and wait for somebody to knock on the door and say, hey, I'm Job. Job is here.
Right,
They
right,
go Job.
right,
Because
right.
Job ain't coming knocking on your door.
Okay, so you're tagging up with me big time. So fast backtrack in the past about 12 years ago. My father
Yeah.
had inherited land and a home from his mother in Mississippi. And back in the day, they did a lot of handshake things and not like official things like going to the county recorders and recording the exchange of property and all this sort of stuff. Well, my father
Right.
knew that my grandmother gave him the house, but they never transferred it legally.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so he needed my help selling it. I'm not a real estate agent, but I'm selling my father's house that was given to him by my grandmother, and I'm in Vegas, and it's in Mississippi. You think that's difficult or no?
Very difficult.
All right. So get this. So I do all my research. I go to pull it, and I find a buyer, and I'm ready to sell it. But now I need my father to get with his mother and have her sign off officially, so it's officially his. Guess what my father says?
What?
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna pray over it.
I love when you do that. Right.
I said, Pops. I go, Pops. I know you know God better than I do. Okay, and I do believe in God as well. But God, you can go home and pray on it all you want, but God gave you the ability to ask someone in the church to assist because they know you're not stealing or chasing anything because you've been with these people a long time. Someone in there can be that official signature that signs off your mother's house to you so we can sell this thing. Going home and praying
Right.
on it is not going to get the house sold. That's not how it works. Your thoughts?
No, you know what? Because that's what I was saying. Like a lot of people just sit around and say, the Lord gonna bless me. The Lord is coming. And I'm not mocking them. I'm saying, okay, so and as a kid, you gotta remember, I'm one of those kids sitting around with my little afro saying, well, so I just gotta sit here and just wait on God to just bless me. But what they didn't say was you gotta work at it. There's some work that has to come with it. And what God requires is that you work within the vein of the word, and what you're trying to accomplish is bigger than you, and you're trying to help others. So you're not building a business because Shaundell wants to be a business owner. It doesn't work that way. You're building a business because I'm going to create jobs. I'm going to create faith in my community. There's so many other things that come with it. And by the way, you're going to be blessed with great revenues, great respect, great longevity, all of those things. So it's like you said, man, sometimes people, they just say, and so it be done. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Right. No, you've got to have some investment. You got to have some energy. In fact, quite
Yes.
frankly, it's
We
not
work
the
extremely hard at this. We work extremely hard behind the scenes. We make it look easy, but we work extremely hard. And, I work just as hard at being a father. I work just as hard at being a husband. I work just as hard. There's some habits that you have to create, inside that thought and that mindset to do these things naturally.
habits you have to create to do these things naturally. And you know what? You have it. You don't even know what to call it, Shaundell. You've got it. You don't even know what to call it. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you
Help
out.
me out.
You have become ambitious.
Ambitious?
Ambitious.
Ambitious.
Yes.
HUM.
Yes. HUMBISHES. Ambitious.
Well, you hit me with the thesaurus today.
That's the combination of being ambitious and humble at the same time.
Wow.
Ambitious.
Wow, you gave that to me.
I borrowed that from Steve.
You give me so many gifts, man. I don't even know what to do.
I borrowed that from Steve Wynn. Ambitious. You've got to be able to move through life with a sense of humility and be humble.
Wow.
At the same time, staying ambitious.
Isn't he a great guy?
He's done some great things. He's done some great things.
I met him. Arlene and I met him when he came to the Urban Chamber, and what's funny is we were meeting with Steve Wynn for the chamber, and our offices, as you know, is a few doors away. And when we talked about our office, he wanted to come by the office, and he said, "This is one of the best things you can do for your community and for your family is own this business."
Right. Well said.
Ambitious, huh?
Ambitious, exactly. Most people get stuck in their limiting thoughts and limiting behavior, and I say it this way: if you argue for your limitations, they're yours.
Yeah,
you're going to have that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. So people are managing through the holidays. Some people are very depressed, or they can choose depression or desire. So when you choose desire, you desire to improve, regardless whether you're managing kids, the in-laws, other family members. You're juggling life matters between work and home or business. And definitely you want to minimize and reduce stress to the most maximum level. People don't realize that stress is a killer. People actually die from stress because that ongoing stress goes back to that whole cortisol game that happens back in the old days is tied to the fight or flight, releasing cortisol. But you have cortisol being released. That was only supposed to be to get out of danger, escape danger, or not be eaten by the predator. But a lot of that's going on with people long term. As a function from stress. We got to blow that stress out. We got to work to figure out, connect with the right people, and reduce and eliminate that stress. The problem is not going to be corrected because you're worrying about it or you're stressed about it. Your thoughts? Let me pass the ball to you.
What you got to do, man. You have dropped so much in these 20-some minutes, man. You know what we should do? We should talk to Lisa. Lisa Farrell is the person that brought us together.
Right.
And I don't know how we do it because you and I are just extremely busy. But we gotta blog this stuff. We gotta you come up with so much, and I'm writing notes. I'm sitting over here like, man, I'm trying to write notes. I'm trying to be on this podcast. I'm like, this is ridiculous, right? But you have dropped so much, man. God bless you, dude. That was amazing.
Well, I appreciate that, but that's really where it's at. If we break it down to the simplest solution, most people tend to and we're still talking about the holidays and whether it's depression or desire. I say reach for desire.
Yeah.
And the best way is to simplify. We all tend to overcomplicate so much. And then that the overcomplication doesn't necessarily solve the problem. You agree or disagree?
No, you know what? Sometimes we make things too complex.
Yes, all the time.
We make it way too. It's like, okay, I got this due, or like even like I said, when I was in my mess, it was like I got this bill due, I got that. But Shaundell, you got all these people around you who are willing to assist, and so many people. So look at the blessing outside of where the tragedy is. And I think that's why people fall down. I think people
100%. And they get stuck. They fall down but Shaundell, they fall down and they stay down.
Yeah.
Lisa and I live by the concept that our theory is we either up or getting up. We're either
Yeah.
up or getting up. We do get
Yeah.
knocked down, but we don't stay down. We're either
Man,
up.
you sound like Donnie McClurkin, man. We fall down, but we get up.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. So and when we flip back to that whole piece when I said stop expecting amazing results with minimal effort, I'll tell you where that came
Yeah.
from. Think about all the amazing clients we get to serve. Let's say on the coaching side, there are a number of clients that want amazing results,
Yeah.
but they don't want to do the work.
Right.
And that's when that thought came to me. I go, why are they expecting?
You on fire, boy.
Yeah, I said, why are they expecting amazing results with minimal effort? The results
Right.
come from your effort. I'm not King Checkabobo here.
OMG.
So for the holidays, we want people to choose desire over depression, and you can do it by connecting with some of these basic thoughts that you and I are sharing, Shaundell. So how can you help us? We got about 4 minutes left on this one. Help us know how people. What would you recommend for those watching or listening? And they say, okay, you guys make it sound easier than it is, I'm sure. How do we help them choose desire over depression through the holidays?
So choosing desire is looking at where you want to go.
Yes.
Looking at where do you want to go, and don't let obstacles get in the way.
Right.
Yes, you just like this year, death was upon us. Fear of death is upon us.
Yes.
So many restrictions are upon us.
Yes.
But what has come out of it? We're wearing these crazy, funny masks.
Yes.
We're getting to spend more time with family. We're getting to spend time that we wouldn't be able to spend time because we're in our busy lives of jumping on airplanes and doing all of that. I would have been in DC probably 4 or 5 times by now. I would have been out campaigning, doing all this other stuff. But I got time to sit down and reflect. Think about where you want to go and the desires that you have in life and what is in front of you, and not so much what is at your feet right now.
And tell the truth about it. Yes, and tell the truth about it.
Tell the truth about it.
And the truth typically, as I've read and heard, the truth is more learned than told.
Yes, it is.
So be open for that lesson. Be open for the learning, and doing all that you're saying is huge. And when we talk about playing a game of baseball, what's the number one thing that most people want to do if they're in the game of baseball? They want to hit a what?
Home run.
Home run. And if they do hit a home run in life, metaphorically, if they hit a home run in life, don't a lot of people, Shaundell, want to seek into that celebration? Oh, I hit a home run, right?
Forever.
Right?
Sometimes people forever.
Yeah,
it's
sometimes
the Al Bundy thing, right?
Exactly.
You want to always go back to high school.
Exactly. Sometimes it is forever. But so if they're living from that concept, they've got to learn that yesterday's home run doesn't win today's game.
Right.
Yes, it's great that you hit a home run, but yesterday's home run doesn't win today's game.
Wow. Man, you what happened, man? What you got over there? You drinking some good coffee, huh? Man.
Well, we said we wanted to do something powerful for the holidays, so I wanted to pack it in and share some wisdom, So if there's some takeaways that people get from this, I hope some of the dialogue and exchange between us is what people are taking away from the power of our connection.
I hope they do, because I can watch this podcast like 5 or 6 times. I gotta go back. It's like that. It's like, those movies like Harlem Nights that you gotta go back and see something else.
Right.
Like, wow. You just really put so many things in great perspective that I pray that people listen attentively and take notes, because I think we will solve a lot of issues on depression, on the holidays, and how you take it to launch a whole new year.
Yes, and simplify. Do your best to simplify. Yes. Again, final concept. You've heard me talk about it. It's called Occam's Razor. Occam's Razor basically says that the simplest solution is typically the best. Occam came from, William Occam it was in the 1300s, and he was a theologian and a philosopher and so forth. He got credited with that philosophy. It really wasn't him who originated, but somehow, for whatever reason, it stuck through him. Right. And I use that all the time to not overcomplicate, not to make it so difficult. How can I make matters improve with the simplest of concepts or the simplest of thoughts? And so the simplest solution is typically the best, is Occam's Razor. So practice those sort of things. And I think that we give ourselves a chance to live into desire versus depression.
Hey, do you think James Brown knew that Occam's Razor? Because one of his best songs, and I got a picture of him back there when I had him at a concert. Please, 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 and it just kept going. I'm like, wow.
I think he lived it. He may not have put it in the terms of Occam's Razor, but I do believe he did his best to live that concept.
I believe it.
I don't think he was perfect, but I think because of his upbringing, he had a very difficult upbringing with his mother and the disconnect and the brothels and all that kind of stuff. He grew up really, really, really fast, and he had to find himself, And I think when people grow up that way and they put that time in, and they actually do the work, they can create the brilliance of a James Brown, like you're talking about.
And you know what? I got an idea. Yep. And again, here I am throwing ideas.
Right.
And I know we got to wrap up.
Okay.
Let's talk to a guy that knows James Brown.
Oh, that'd be amazing. In fact, let's tie it back
to Bubba Knight.
Let's bring in Bubba Knight, right? And let's make the topic of that conversation the power of desire.
Yes.
The power of desire.
The power of desire. The power
of desire. And Bubba Knight can talk about that from his perspective and from some of the people that he's connected and what he learned from some of those. And he can toss the ball back and forth. We've had him on the program before, and it was really good. So I'd love that. That would be a great one.
We had Bubba. We had Craig.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was Craig.
Yeah, Craig. We got to get Bubba.
Oh, my God. That'll be amazing.
Legend.
That'll be amazing. The power of desire.
Power of desire. I'm right. I wrote that down.
I'll bet he's going to teach both of us one or two things.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And our audience, too. Our listeners, too, can gain from that. So go ahead. You first.
Bubba, we're going to have to make that an hour show, so we got to find that slot.
Okay, fair enough.
He's going to drop too much on us.
Okay, fair enough. I get that. So let me ask you this. Where can our listeners and followers out there get in touch with Shaundell Newsome if they want to take this a little further?
First and foremost, you can get in touch with me on Brothers in Conversation. We want you to follow our podcast. We want you to like us on Facebook. We are going to come hardcore in 2021.
Yes.
Shaundell and Jess are going to have a lot of fun. That's what we're going to do. You can find me on anything that says Shaundell Newsome on any platform.
I like that. And we want you to share this with others. This was a very brief half hour of power. And we're talking about the holidays, we're talking about family, talking about depression and desire. We want you to take a single nugget from what we've passed back and forth in conversation, and we want you to do something with that. Implement that in your life. Take that further up the road. Take any concept or any thought or any quote and take that up the road and see what you can do with that, because it's hard to do it by yourself. Everybody needs someone else to help champion their cause. So thank you, Shaundell Newsome. It's always a pleasure to connect with you. I'm glad that you jumped out of that waiting room and found a way to scrapple onto this program, and you came hitting hard.
What is it about, Jess? What is it about? How we
it's
leave
all
them
about
feeling.
How you leave them feeling. That's it.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Have a great rest of the day.
All right, brother.
All right.